Great. Hey everyone, we are live. And we have Angular 20 release already done yesterday. And
Yes, sir.
today I have a special guest with me, Anit. Hey Anit, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me. And it's a great pleasure to be streaming live with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
It was your idea at the end. If you're not aware, I just started streaming a week back, 2 week back actually. And then we were just having a chat. Hey, Parth, thanks for joining. And Anit came up with this idea that we should have watch party. And I
Yeah,
remember like I did this watch party in 2023 last time. I think it's
that's
2023.
pretty long. Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And last year was, of course, like a little bit um, tough. So I ended up doing almost nothing. And then wanted to revive my YouTube channel as well. So yeah,
Hmm.
it was a good idea. And then I reached out to Angular team. Hey, I'll be doing watch party as well, and they added it. So people know that okay, we are doing this watch party, and there are a few more watch parties which already happened, and
Yeah,
there was one for Angular actually today.
right.
So,
Yeah, I saw
did
that.
you got the chance? Yeah. So you already saw that. Oh, nice.
No, I
Uh,
saw the notification. I mean, I didn't see the
okay.
complete watch party yet. Yeah, because I
Okay.
was traveling so from work, so I couldn't watch the
Hmm.
complete watch party. But
Ah,
yeah,
oh,
I
nice.
mean, let's do it together. What say?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Hey, Ketan, thanks for joining. So we will go through the Angular 20 release. So if you're not aware, the Angular 20 is already here, and there is a watch the developer events which is happening. Of course, you can find all the links, and then it goes to the YouTube. Sorry, the Angular watch party which already happened a few minutes back or a few hours back actually, and there is a blog post which is also available. You can search for Angular blogs, and I mean, this is something which I don't like. Angular blogs is actually still using Medium. I
Yeah,
It would be a strong word, but I don't like it. I mean, I moved away from Medium long back. I stopped publishing it once it's just became just a platform where you post for money. And yeah, it's just not the platform I would like to post because I don't want the readers to actually just log in because they want to read something. And
exactly.
Angular blog, yeah, I don't know how does that work. Many people still do. I mean, I don't have any problem with them. Go ahead and do it. But yeah, I don't prefer it. Good thing Angular, at least with Angular, you can read it without login. I think Angular did a lot of pushback with Medium. They had to because they want to keep it free, and it would be great if they can move. um, at the end it's like it's still Medium, right?
Right. I
So
mean, they could have some platform of their own, or maybe they can just create an extension of the docs that they already have.
I can understand like it will be too much work managing the cloud platform as well, but yeah, I mean Google has something, right? I mean Google, they can easily do it if they want to. But anyways, we are not here to bash about Medium anyways. So yeah, the Angular 20 blog which was written by me in code yesterday, one day ago. So officially Angular 20 was released yesterday. So let's go back. So Anit here came prepared with all the new updates actually, and then I was going through the release notes as well as like, oh, uh, I don't know how do you feel, Anit? But one thing which I really liked after I think long time, I would say, uh, after Angular 16, 17, 18, 19, that this release was actually more focused on stabilizing the APIs. So there are hardly new APIs. It's like mostly removing the deprecations, uh,
True.
deprecating something, stabilizing all the signal-based APIs. So what is that the feeling all of you have who followed the Angular blogs, or it's only me because I have seen so many changes going around? So what's your thought?
Well, yeah, like even in my opinion, I think this time they have focused more on stabilizing the existing APIs because, again, like they have been, very like rigorously working on signals and shifting all these, like, not the forms yet, but all the other things to signals, like the observable, the reactivity, and everything else, which is, I mean, it's pretty cool in my opinion. But apart from these updates, what I have a feeling is that they have been working a lot on the developer experience, and I think they're working, I mean, pretty good in my opinion on that. Like, just a few days ago, even I was trying out the Angular SSR, and
Okay.
the updates that they have rolled out since version 17, I guess, with SSR, the um, hybrid SSR, and the what do you call
Incremental
that,
hydration
incremental
basically.
hydration. Yeah, those are
Hmm.
some things that I really, I would say, appreciate, with the like, about the Angular team. They have been working really hard, and the energy that people are showing around it, the comment section, I was going through the comments as well, and people were like, I'm coming back to Angular, and that was like really, like, I would say, exciting, and that was really good energy there, which I really liked. So yeah, overall, I think, some people are calling it boring. Some people are saying that the changes are boring. Some are saying that we were
Uh-huh.
waiting for the reactive form to, get converted to the signals, like,
Uh-huh.
they basically get
Yeah,
converted to
signal-based forms.
signals API.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think that's in progress, right? I mean, there's
that's in
already
progress.
API. Yeah, this okay. That's a good thing. I mean, look, you cannot just expect every release to have
Everything.
some new features, right? I mean,
True.
uh, so there is a question. Let's talk about this before we move ahead. If you are new to Angular and want to develop UI faster, do you suggest old version of Angular or can start learning V20? Why you want to start using older version? Just start with the latest. I mean, there is a reason behind it. I will share my thought, like why I think it's like that. Because Angular hardly breaks your apps. Remember one thing, like even though Angular may migrate or deprecate some APIs in future, but they also provide migration. And we can talk about migration as well, Anit, here, because that's
Definitely.
one of the feature which I really like about Angular. That they have hardly broken my app since Angular 6, and it was like one of the maybe selling point for me as a developer, that whenever I have to go work at some organization, I know that okay, moving to a new version of Angular will be not very painful. Of course, there have been instances where I was wrong because because of the code base, not because of Angular.
Mm-hmm.
Because code base was messy. They had a lot of extra dependencies which shouldn't have been there, or maybe they're not properly maintained. Because Angular never stops you from moving ahead or like having backward compatible changes, and they also have like always this mindset
Provided
that
the,
they
yeah,
yeah
backward
they have
compatibility.
backward compatible APIs.
True.
So
True.
yeah, go ahead and start with something new. I mean, I'm sure like Anit, that's your experience as well.
Yeah, I mean, even I would suggest the same. One thing that I would like to say is that why would you want to, complicate with all the observables knowledge and the signals knowledge? I mean, it would be a lot to, grasp in one go, and it would be overwhelming as well when you start. So, because this is also something I was thinking lately, that people have been saying that Angular has a steep learning curve, but when it comes to security, performance, and developer experience, I think Angular is great. And moving forward, when we have something like signals coming up, I think, yeah, you should definitely go ahead and start learning that, because that's the future. That's where we are heading towards. So that would be something that will keep you up to date.
Good. So let's quickly go through the changes, right? So we have Angular
Yeah.
20 already, and we have some breaking changes. We have some, of course, deprecations. So if we can talk about maybe breaking changes first, or maybe we can start with deprecations, because I see there are some, or we can start with features. I think going ahead and starting with features will be good idea. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. I mean, whichever
Yeah.
way you're comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, let's start with the features, right? I mean, I think we already have a question about the AI integration, AI setup. What's that? Okay, so I think
Ooh,
you, Ketan, is talking about
I think,
llm.txt file. Yeah.
yeah, I think that was something like, I would say, unexpected that came up during the talk. The AI thing was really good, and it has some really good features. When someone is getting started with Angular and AI, because
Hmm.
again, that's where we are heading towards, right? The AI is booming and it's not going to stop anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that was something really unexpected.
So let's see. So I before like we can jump into like all the features. What I did is I created a new application using Angular 20. One
Awesome.
thing which I noticed, I think this is the first feature we can talk about. It's zoneless. So
Zoneless.
yeah, so Angular 20, once you create a new app, it's going to be zoneless by default, and it's in developer preview. I mean, it's not by default. Sorry, uh, let me correct it. It's not by default. You have an option to go for zoneless application in case you want to, and it's part of your CLI setup, right? You can select yes or no. So it's in developer preview right now. I said no right now because I just don't want to do something which can break my app, just to be safe. But you
Right.
can go ahead and use it, which is amazing. You can start a new app with uh, zoneless. It means no zone.js will be installed as a dependency for you. And they have reduced the number of options which we generally get when starting and creating a new app. So now we always add this, the style sheet format would you like, and would you like to have SSR and SSG enabled. So these are only three options. Let's talk about zoneless, Anit, for a second. So if you, I said no in my case, but there
Hmm.
was a old application which I actually created using, or I just added the settings to actually provide zoneless change direction. So these are the experimental APIs which we had in Angular
Right.
19 actually. So these APIs are now renamed. So if you migrate to Angular 20, you will see that these APIs will be renamed and they are not experimental anymore. So they are
Yeah.
moved from
It says
experimental.
provide check. I think provide zoneless change detection. Yeah.
Yeah, it has become provide zoneless change
Zoneless
direction.
change.
And same for, I think, check no changes for debug. I think this has changed as well.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. Right. Yes, I can see that. They have changed
Yeah.
that as well. Provide check no changes for debug.
So what we can do is, meanwhile we are going through the changes, we can actually run a migration. So I can do npm run ng update, and let's go to the official documentation. So in case you don't know like how to upgrade your application,
Will
you
we
can
have
actually
to
go
like?
to
Do we have to write npm run ng update, or it's just simply ng update?
no. So if you have, yeah, so we can talk about that as well because different people have different setups. Of course, I
Oh,
don't like ng Angular CLI to be installed globally, so I
okay.
never do that because
I
it's
see.
it's something because I have to experiment with different versions of Angular. So generally, what I do is whenever if you notice my uh, earlier console, which is this, you may notice that I'm using npx and
Yeah.
Angular CLI at the latest. So it gives me flexibility that I can also try beta. So I can say, okay, CLI
Oh,
at the next, so I can create a new app with the latest tag on Angular. So it can be alpha, beta. So generally it's beta or
mhm.
RC. Basically, they create RCs. So I can experiment with the latest tags on Angular. So and yeah, so
That's great.
ng is not available globally for me. That's why I have to say npm run, or I can just say and ng as well, just in case I have to add this command, right? So I have to in my package.json, I have to say nx, sorry, ng equals to ng, which is another way to make it work. But yeah, you can actually go to update.angular.io, which goes to now angular.dev/update guide, which gets redirected, and you have this command. So you can always refer to this guide. This is really helpful whenever I have to upgrade any version. I just use this amazing guide, always updated. And you can select like if you're using Angular with Angular JS, and then if you're using Angular Material, and it will update based on what you have selected, what kind of app you have, medium, advanced. It advanced means it actually considers SSR as well. I think that's the advanced one. But otherwise, and I have never faced any problem running this migrate command. So let's go ahead and do that. Meanwhile, we can talk about more features and more APIs which has been stabilized now. So so I'm just going to run this command, and meanwhile, Anit, would you like to update us? Well? what APIs are stable now?
Sure. So regarding the APIs, I think the Signal APIs first of all, the linked Signal, I guess that
Hmm.
API they have made it stable now, which was
Oh wow.
earlier in developer preview.
Mhm.
What else? What else? I think resource API that as well they have made stable, which is again a very big news for me, I would say, because I initially just loved the resource API, which I have been saying in your streams as well, because of how it allows you to get the loading state and all of that stuff, which was again a really great change from the Angular team. Um, just a minute, let me bring that up. So yeah, effect is the signal API that they have made stable. To signal, to observable, after render, effect, after render, next render, linked signal, and I think pending tasks is what they have mentioned. So
Nice.
one of the breaking change that they have mentioned here is that they have just renamed after render, which was the um,
Lifecycle
if,
hook.
if
It's a lifecycle hook.
yeah,
Yeah.
lifecycle hook, that they have renamed to after every render. That's one, I would say, breaking change that they have done. Other than that, I don't think any breaking changes are there. And yeah, like one of the changes that I think is not being talked about much is the Angular style guide that they have changed. i
Okay.
am
That's
i'm
interesting.
sold. I'm sold. I mean, I
Okay. Why?
don't know why. Sorry.
Why? I mean, the question is why.
Yeah, like
But.
I don't know, it just feels more clean. It just feels
Mhm.
less of syntactical sugar is present in the naming the files. Like they just went ahead and removed the app folder completely. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know how people are not reacting to that, but for me, it's really great. Like it's a pretty big step in my opinion. Apart from that,
Mhm.
they have also removed dot component from component files. You
Yeah.
just have to simply name them as, like, for example, if it is a user profile, then just name it as user dash profile in kebab case,
Mhm.
and there you go. You have the component, and same for the CSS
I mean,
file or for the
so you mean Angular CLI will do that for you, right? I mean, we don't have to do that.
I think Angular CLI is not yet compatible with that.
I think they did. So yeah, we can talk about
Yeah,
CLI as well if you're talking about. So I think they dropped the dot component, and then there was another idea of appending
yeah,
dot ng.
right.
There was a big discussion on that PR, that why dot ng, why is Angular going to go React way, or they are going to do Vue way, where we have to rename dot ng for all the files. And I
Exactly,
think Angular team then dropped that idea. Like, okay,
exactly.
let's
They
stay
dropped it.
with. Yeah. So, if in case you're wondering what Anit was talking about, talk like have not having this file with the extension. So I created a new Angular 20 app. So I can show you the difference actually. So this is Angular 20 app, and the other one is Angular 19. So you see, Angular 19 one has app.component.ts, app.component.html, app.component.css. But if you notice in Angular 20, we have app.ts, app.html, app.css.
Right.
So all the hyphen component or dot component thing is dropped now, and which is
And if I'm
good
not
thing.
wrong,
I mean, I'm not sure
yeah,
it. Mhm.
if I'm not wrong, I think the app that you have
Yes,
created
sir.
is a component, right? Like
It's a component
the
actually.
app
Yeah,
folder. Yeah. I mean, whichever
because it's a
more
new Angular
component.
20 app. So
Right, right, right.
yeah.
Because I think in the new Angular 20 app, they have removed the app folder altogether. I mean, that's what
No, I
I
don't
was
think
going
so,
through.
because it's still there. So I think the root app folder will be still there, but I'm sure like that's not done right now because this is a new Angular 20 app which I created. So still there. Maybe they're talking about something else, but this is the new way. And uh, s- what else you see in the style guide apart from this naming convention? Is there anything else? What about services? I don't need to say app.service. Is that app.ts? How it's going to be handled?
Um, I'm not sure if I read that anywhere, but I'll surely
Uh,
do that now. I mean, I didn't pay attention to that, but yeah, avoid creating
that's
subdirectories based on. the type of code that lives in those directories.
Mhm.
For example, avoid creating directories, right? So yeah, they are saying that
Uh-huh.
we should avoid creating directories like components, directives, and services.
Okay. So let's say I'm creating a new service. And yeah, hey Hassan, hey Hassan, long time. So he's a good friend, Hassan, and yeah, he's also excited about the naming convention, simplicity. So
Yeah,
Kitten says if someone migrates from 18 to 19, 18 or 19 to 20, how will this naming convention will be? Okay, good question actually.
yeah, that's
So
a really good
you
question.
see, I think this is when we drop for component, and we can go ahead and talk about Ketan, the question Ketan has. So it will not rename your file, Ketan. It will be, the changes will be applied for new files. So in case you need create a new component, you will not see app.component.ts or maybe user.component.ts, but old files remain same. Angular is not going to rename your file. That will be too much. I will
Yeah, I
never use
mean,
this here.
right. I mean, that would break a lot of things
Exactly, yeah.
unnecessarily.
Because your all the import changes, then Angular has to do all this heavy lifting, right? Because remember
Right.
the way TypeScript import works. So
It's a
you have to
cosmetic
say,
change, but yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
it just feels good.
Mm. Yeah. So maybe there is something future planned around these changes, maybe, but but you don't need to. I mean, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do that. It's only for the new files which will be created where you have this naming convention. It's a CLI change, right? It's not compiler or something else which is changing. And I can show you some of the APIs as well, which Anit talked about. So linked signal is one of them, and I really like the API. I actually tried this in the stream when I was doing it last week, and I was actually talking to my coworkers,
Hmm.
and they also like really like this API because of one very basic but very critical issue, which is managing the state between two related, let's
Signals.
say, signals, or maybe it's a very typical issue, right? I mean, in case you have two UIs on or two controls on your UI, and you want to make sure that they both are in sync, it's one of the very critical issue to solve, because it can be overlooked. You can overlook about this issue, and
Hmm.
happens. I think there are so many apps where I have done this. I've made this mistake as well. And linked signal, I really like the simplicity behind this API. How easily we can actually just make sure that both the signals are in sync. Amazing APIs that like removes all this mental overhead. Hard to actually make this error when I'm writing my code next time with Signal.
Right.
What's your thought, Anil?
I mean, yeah, linked signal is, I mean, an amazing API, and it was much needed, I would say. And I was also watching a video related to the new linked signal API. I think it was by one of the Angular community member itself. If I'm remembering her name right, I think it's Deborah. Her name is
Kurata.
Deborah. Yeah,
Oh, so
she
yeah,
she has an amazing, I mean, the way of teaching is amazing. The way she makes her videos, great. I would like to give a shout out to her. She makes really great videos. So yeah, I mean, she also picked a very good example. I mean, again, I don't remember the example exactly, but yeah, I think one signal is basically changing and the another updates. That's how it works, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And it gives you a writable signal in
Yeah,
return, right? uh,
yeah.
I think that doesn't happen in the case of computed or effect, one of the two.
Computed is read only. Yeah, computed is read only.
Read value,
And
right?
in effects, you are not allowed to write a signal. I think
Right,
that's one
yeah,
of the
right, right.
limitation.
Effect is you cannot write a
Yeah,
signal, right? I mean, I'm still learning signals, I'm pretty new to it. But yeah, I'm trying my best to
yeah,
keep up with all the new APIs that coming up.
yeah. Hey Jerome. So thanks again, Jerome. So Jerome actually shared this all the streams or all the watch parties which are happening through his website, and he is an amazing person. I met him last year at NG Belgrade, and probably I'll see him again in 2 weeks or a month, or around a month in Berlin as well. So looking forward to spend some time and talk about Angular again, Jerome. And we did a conference actually last year. We did a virtual conference called TIL Conf where Jerome like really helped a lot. He did all the heavy lifting. I would say I was just
That's great.
probably burned out. But let's talk about Deborah Garata because some people already know that, but she was my teacher. So when I started Angular in 2017, I learned Angular from her course actually,
Hmm.
and always like she is amazing. I mean, the way she teaches is it's mind blowing. I mean, I have learned a lot from her, and the way to teach is actually something which I try to copy from her. So uh, even like I'm doing some live streams, I try to make sure like I'm trying to simplify things which she does, and she does it in an amazing way.
Well, to be honest, I just came, like I got the chance of, I came across one of her videos recently, but I think she's one of the best creators in the Angular community, and the community is
Yes,
blessed to have her
she's
because she
yeah.
teaches amazing. I just remembered the example that she gave with linked signal. It was with price basically. How do you calculate
Mhm.
the price? You calculate the price with cost of one item with multiplied by the quantity. Like if someone wants to calculate the total price, this is a very particular use case where you might need linked signal.
Nice. So let's talk about the other APIs which Anit mentioned. So a resource API, as
Right.
Anit mentioned, it's stable now, and we tried this on our stream as well. And this is I really loved it. I mean, the because of the simplicity of gain, because I can just pass a signal as part of my request, and whenever the state of this signal changes, it makes an API call. I mean, amazing API. It just reduces so much mental overhead whenever you are creating a new UI, basically, where you may have to call a same API but with different parameters or different maybe what you can say different inputs, right? So you
Right.
can go ahead and use this. You can and now you can use resource, and you can also use actually HTTP request. Do you know about that? And HTTP resource. I think this was experimental in Angular 19,
Yeah.
uh, but this is still not stable in 20 as well, I think.
Yes, it's still not stable. That's what I was going through the same.
But yeah, I mean, I also liked idea behind HTTP resource. I think the whole idea of having HTTP resource was to give an API which is identical to HTTP client, because Angular developers are pretty comfortable with HTTP client, right? Where you can
Right.
just pass, hey, this is the method, get post, whatever. And with resource, it was not that way. Resource, you have to pass like so many, like you have loader, you have a request. With
Hmm.
HTTP resource, this removes like that, or you still feel home, right? You still feel like you're still using HTTP client.
Right. And under the hood, I've read that it's still using HTTP client, HTTP
Exactly.
resource.
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
using HTTP client under the hood. So yeah, you'll get all the APIs that HTTP client eventually gave to you. I think
Nice. I
that's
mean,
also the case. Yeah.
yeah, I was surprised because when I tried HTTP resource for the first time, it started giving me error that I need to use or I need to provide HTTP client, and I was like, why should I provide HTTP client? I'm using HTTP resource, and then I ended up importing it anyways, and then went to I think I was in Angular Slack, and I said, hey, why do we need this? I mean, this looks like a bug maybe. Then I was told, hey, I think because it uses HTTP client, and there was already a discussion on the Slack actually
Oh.
why we are using why I need to provide HTTP client. Cool. So okay, so these are some APIs which are stable now. So good thing is there is no new API introduced. Is it right? I mean,
Um. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any new APIs that are being introduced. Um. Let me just check once. I mean, I don't want to say anything wrong. So I'll probably just go through the whole documentation once, just skim through it.
yeah. Meanwhile, I can. I think there was one change which I saw. Um, I think this was related to provide server routing. I think we can say with routes now. So we don't need to say provide server routing and then server routes. I think this has become with routes. I think if I move to Angular 20, so because I created a new app without Angular 20, without SSR SSD, so that's not done. But yeah, if I migrate this app, which I was not able to do because some of the changes. Okay, so I remember why it failed. So app.config.ts, because I probably made some changes here. Remember, when you run ng update, you have to make sure there are no uncommitted changes, basically. So that's why my upgrade failed. Let's see what
So
happens after
this
this.
there was one thing mentioned during the Angular teams live. They said that there's basically stream values. You can stream values from a resource now. I think that was via the HTTP resource
Yeah.
API. That was something that I did not get, like what exactly they meant by it, but it sounded interesting. So I
Okay.
thought I'll mention that on the stream.
Oh,
So
okay.
uh,
Okay. I think
yeah,
I saw that as well. I remember. I remember. I mean, maybe
they
we
have
can
written it
explore
here.
some examples. Okay.
They've written it here.
So we can
Since then,
probably.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'll just read out the line that they have mentioned. So they've just mentioned it here. Since then, we introduced resource streaming and created a new API called HTTP resource that allows you to make HTTP requests with a signal-based reactive API. Both of these APIs are available as part of V20 as experimental.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah. So,
resource is it experiment? Okay. So,
um,
anyways, yeah.
yeah. I think previously we mentioned that the resource API is stable. I think that was something that I like misunderstood initially. So I think resource API is still in the experimental phase,
Okay.
because in the stable
Okay.
releases they have not mentioned anything related to the resource API yet. All they have mentioned is related to signals.
Good. Yeah. So Jerome actually posted this already. The API I was talking about. So provide server rendering has been changed to provide server rendering with route. So now it says this, right. So you probably can see the chat. So it says provide server
Provides
rendering with routes
with
rather than
routes.
saying server. Yeah. So nice. This is I think this simplifies the APIs. Less APIs to think about, right? Uh, hey, oh, so COVID-19. Okay.
Wow.
Hope it doesn't come back. Okay, so I think these are a good thing, as we said. Like, good thing is we have s- more focus on stabilizing the APIs rather than creating new things. So I think Angular 20 is maybe that it's one of the releases where after which where Angular team focuses more on improving the existing APIs. And I think we don't have lot of new changes coming apart from forms. I think that's one of the things which we can
I
talk
think
about. So Angular
that's
has a roadmap, right? So
debated.
let's talk a little bit about roadmap, because we have been asking about a lot of things. I mean, as an us it means community, right? We have been talking about so many things, and Angular has been probably shipping features. And after one time, I was frustrated. Please stop. I'm
Right.
not sure about others, but I was really at one point I was like, okay, it is becoming too much to actually just keep in touch
Right.
or just be. Yeah,
And like till when can you update, right? Like you have to stop and work on new features. Like as a developer you have to work on new features as well. So I mean, some point you have to stop and make things more stable. So
exactly.
I think you're right there.
So, anyways, but whatever happened for good. I think Angular has always this backward compatibility. I'm sure, like, new code, new features, people will start writing signals, but old code is not going anywhere. So I'm sure for most of the production applications, I think going zoneless is something which you should not think about like very fast in case you have a big code base. Uh, So stop, wait maybe to go zoneless. Maybe
Right.
it's not going to like improve your performance a lot. Maybe you already have a performant application and you maybe just for a little bit gain, just
Not the right time.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly
we should let it
refactoring.
settle a little bit. Let it, let the community use it a little bit, and then see what comes next, and let it settle down first.
So I'm on the Angular roadmap page now, and it says like right now there are few APIs which are ready for experiment, which is linked signal, effect API, resource API, hydration support for I18 and blocks. This is nice. Zoneless change direction and then incremental hydration. As of today, we have production ready for signals, Angular signals, event replay with SSR, deferrable views,
Deferable
and
views.
then it's nice feature, built-in control flow, signal input, model input, signal queries, function-based output, route level, render mode, and local variable declaration, which is basically at the rate let. So the new
Right.
syntax which is available, right? Let. So nice, I think, and I thought like there is future work, right? So yeah.
Right.
So future work is signal forms.
True.
Yes, we need
That's the
this.
goal. Even selectorless, that's something I was pretty excited about. It
Mhm.
removes that excessive import statement that we have to make. Like, we have to first import the component, and then import it into the imports array, and then use that component selector eventually. So um so okay, so Jerome says roadmap is
Yeah,
not
actually,
complete.
I thought so because linked signal is stable. So I was
Yeah,
wondering
exactly.
why. Yeah,
Even
so
incremental
it's okay.
hydration
I
is
mean, yeah, so it's okay. But I think we can talk about the feature bugs. We still have single forms, selectorless, as you said, Anit.
right.
It's going to reduce all those import extra export
Import
statements.
statement.
So it's nice. I'm maybe we still need to figure out what will be the best solution or how it will be done. What happens to your old code? All the migrations. I think this is not going to be an easy task for Angular.
Yeah, true. I mean, I was again, I think I was watching a video, I think I read this in an article, where they said that it will be very tough to keep the existing functionalities, and you know let the selectorless, like, let Angular basically work on selectorless selectors. I don't know what to call that, but yeah. So it's going to be very tough for the Angular community. That's what I was also, sorry, for the Angular developers, that's what I was also going through. And other than that, Santosh, I think there were two more things that's coming to my mind right now, that I also wanted to talk to you, because I honestly don't have any information about it. So I'm just gonna, maybe you can say, test your knowledge or on it, or anything like that. First was um, dynamic component creation. Have you ever used that, dynamic component creation?
Yeah, I think there was a component factory resolver which was there for a long time, and then it got
Yes.
deprecated. And there was an ask for from the community to make dynamic component easy. And I think there is a new API for that, right?
Yes, they have updated that as well, and I think they have created some new APIs around it. But honestly, I have never worked with it, and I can't even think of any use case that basically,
There are
um,
so many because
I mean,
we have a big application and we do a lot of we load like a lot of components at runtime dynamically. So it's like
oh,
as a user, you decide like what you want to load, right? So it's like of course it's not a very common use case. It's not a very common use case. That's why people probably might never use it in their maybe entire career, and that's
right.
possible. So, but we have very I think niche use case where we have to do this, and we have been using I think component factory resolver for a long time. And so, do you know like what is the new API?
Yeah, I was just going through the article.
It's in the blog, is it? Ah, okay. So, yep. Let's see. Hmm. Audition developer experience. Oh, this is nice. This is also a good uh, change.
Framework
So
additions.
we
Yeah,
can
of tools.
in their tools. Yeah, nice. and
I'll
this is
have to
good.
come back to Chrome.
Yeah, I know.
I've been using
Mm,
Firefox for a long time. I think I'll have be coming back to
yeah.
Chrome soon.
Uh, so okay, we have a new API.
I
Let's
think you'll
just
see it under the heading of framework additions and improvements. Oh,
okay. Then it should be thank you for contributions. It's okay. We have VTest support as well. So experimental support for VTest. I'm not sure how many people are using this, but in case you are using, I think we have an experimental support already available. Good. I think a lot of people are saying VTest is the future of unit testing framework, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried this, but heard a lot of good feedbacks about it. So probably we'll see if it's easy to migrate. Maybe I
and even this, I
okay
think
this one.
extended template. Yeah, yeah. This was the one we are
So
talking
create
about.
component. Okay, so create component is the new API, and oh, this is nice. I can do input binding, output binding, to binding, and I can also attach directives. I think much
Right.
needed. I mean, this this is really nice. I mean, I like this API because we have seen usage of the factory component resolver, whatever that API is right now, and it's too much work. Gives a lot of issues as well. So this will make the life easier for developers who are doing dynamic component creation. So this is nice. I think much needed API. And the next one you said this one, right? Extended template expression syntax.
Yeah, I think this was just I came across it while scrolling, but yeah, my
Hmm.
next one was a little bit different. But let's talk about this one first. I think
Yeah.
um, now that we are talking about the APIs again, uh, I'm remembering all the stuff I went through earlier. Like during the start of the stream, I was completely blank, but yeah, now things
Oh.
are coming to me.
No worries. That's how live streams work.
Right, right. Apart from this, I think there was also one of object reference in the template. I think where we can, like, it automatically attaches the null operator or something like that. I'm not sure. Just a minute.
Is this the diagnostic one or?
No, 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 no. I don't think if I read it over here in this particular blog,
Hmm?
because I was going through multiple blogs and trying to know as much as I could about the Angular 20 upgrade.
Okay.
Um, just a second.
Okay.
But yeah, the other.
Meanwhile,
Sorry.
no, I was just saying. Meanwhile, you try to find that maybe this is a nice thing as well because
Oh yeah,
ng if ng for ng switch all the basically directives which we had.
structural
Uh,
directives. Yeah.
yeah, so structural directives are going away. So, and there is a migration already available. So, if you are wondering what I should do now, yes, there is a migration available, I think, since Angular 17, if I'm not wrong. And then you can just run the migration. It will migrate all the usage of ng, if ng for ng switch to the control flow syntax, which is really nice. Yeah, there's
So
a
yeah,
migration available.
I think what I was looking for
Mhm.
was the support for template strings in expressions, and
Yeah, this, okay, that was the one which I was actually this, right? So let me open this.
I don't think it's here because this
Yeah,
was yeah.
this
Uh,
one. So you can actually use
oh yeah,
untagged
right.
template literals in your expression now. And I think this is nice addition because I know a lot of time we have to actually create some dynamic expression. And
Right.
the only way currently is like having this like a very complicated way where you put plus and then wrap it inside
Right, right,
single
right,
quotes,
right.
and then yeah, it makes a little bit harder to read and harder to write as well because it's very easy to make a mistake and just render it as a string. So
And
this is
it will also give us the fine grained, we can change the classes. Like if you want to give a different class name to different you can say component or div or section in the ng4, or now it will become at the rate for. So in that case, it will be very convenient to add, numbering, or maybe in this example, they're adding the column width. So we can add variable width and all in this.
That's a very common use case, actually. A lot of people do
Yeah,
that. I mean, in our code base also, we append this to create a new dynamic, maybe let's say ID for testing, right? And those are very common scenarios. So I think that will be simplified, and
true.
this is a very good addition. One thing which I was looking at is now you can do a name in person. So this is actually a valid syntax. It can give you,
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
the JavaScript in syntax basically.
right.
So yeah, so you can use this multiplication or power of two operator and in operator. One thing which also notice that you cannot use void as a variable name now. So be careful doing that. So if you have something known as a void, it means the void function. So it does nothing basically.
Yeah,
That was
and you
very
can.
interesting.
Right, right, right. It's now supported in the template expressions basically.
Yeah.
And if you want to
So
like ignore the return value of a function, you can just
yeah,
mention void, and then you can mention the function name with the parentheses, obviously, and it will just basically
do
ignore
nothing.
the return value of the function.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, yeah, but be careful. I think it can break your app.
True, true. I think the best use case for this could be when event listeners basically return some kind of value, maybe false or true, and we don't want that. I mean, the value
Uh,
particularly, we just might want we might want to know that, yeah, okay, this event happened, but we don't want the value. So in that case, I
yeah.
think we can use that void.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, agreed, but yeah, very, yeah, you never know, right, what you name your variable because that's hard thing to do, and it's easy to, yeah, miss this, that we have made this mistake. But anyways,
True.
apart from this, I think our migration is ready. So let's go ahead and do that, and we can see
Sure, let's
what has
get our
happened.
hands dirty.
So you see, so it says updated some default to maintain previous style guide behavior. Yeah, provide server rendering, right? So this is what it imports of provide server rendering from Angular platform server to Angular SSR. So this has been changed. Provide
Right.
server rendering to use with routes. The one actually Jerome mentioned. So now remove provide server routing is removed, and even provide server routes config is removed, and they have been changed to provide server rendering with routes. So this is nice. Module resolution to bundler. This is a TypeScript based configuration, and this is the migration which we need to run. So it says use application builder. So if you want to say yes or no, you can actually say space to select and enter to proceed. So I can say, okay, let's migrate this. So I want new builder to be used for Angular, which is moving from a build Angular, and which will be
Sorry,
migrated.
what's this exactly?
Yeah, it's actually related to the builder. So, in Angular.json, you have defined what builder will be used to build your
Oh, right.
application.
I think we have Vite
So earlier
and
it was
ES
build
Builder.
Angular. So renaming of package. Uh, so that's for testing. So you see, I mean, it's just renaming packages basically. So we had Angular, kit build Angular.
Okay.
Now they changed to Angular build. Just simplification. And then are there any other changes? No schematics. So this is easy. Changes, it says moves in code of document from Angular common to Angular code. Okay. So if you're using document API, so this is migrated or moved from common to core. Nice. I think uh, you often need to use document anyways. So it says still executing some migrations related to
Uh,
that, but I think there are some migrations which are already applied.
Santosh,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
to
Anit,
interrupt.
sorry.
I think can you just remove the comment that's coming on the bottom of the screen? I think that's blocking the visibility.
Uh, sorry.
Thank you.
So I think this is
Sorry
the
to
one
interrupt you.
migration which is already applied. You see, no worries. Provide server rendering and provide server routing. This is removed, and we have provide server rendering with routes. So nice, a good change. I think simplifying APIs. So we have to care about less APIs, right? So it's already done. Move the report. I think migration completed. Replace uses of deprecated inject flags. Okay, so this is I think related to the services. So if you're using inject function, there was a way to pass inject flags. I think they have this is deprecated and not deprecated. This is deprecated now. So with inject function, you cannot use inject flags. So give you idea, inject flags were like self, skip self, and there are two more. So that's
Right, right. So you're talking about
replaces.
the at injectable, is that so? The decorator?
No, no, no. So there is a inject function. So this is related to inject function.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, okay. So all the migrations are completed basically. So not much changes actually. I was wondering why this is not migrated. App config.ts, because I thought like this experimental zoneless change direction is now provides zoneless change direction.
Yeah, I think experimental word has been
Yeah.
removed.
Oh, yeah. It's removed, but yeah. Okay. So this is probably a problem, right? So there is no migration for this.
Hmm.
So we can actually, of course, I'm sure like this. I'm not sure like if there are people who are on Angular 19 already using provide experimental change detection. If they have been using it, just in case you need to manually do it, and you can log an issue on Angular as well, Angular repository, and say, okay, this is not migrated with this migration, and it will be provided because Angular tries not to break your app. So in that case, this is of course a regression basically. If you talk about uh, proper quality testing, right? So this is a regression. You can raise in the
I
issue.
Right, right. I think in the Angular 20 developer event, I heard Devin say that
Mhm.
if you want to remove the zone JS, just do ng update. You update it to Angular version 20, and you just write an npm uninstall zone JS, and you're good to go. So
I saw the guide as well, but
yeah,
you can do that only in case you know that you are not using zone.js anymore.
yeah, right.
And then these are APIs. This API is actually helpful in case you want to debug that if there is not any issue, right?
Right.
Which is still there. So, but yeah, I mean, go ahead and log an issue. Maybe if you are trying to contribute to Angular, use good issue as well. You can probably go ahead and add a migration and learn something about how to do migration. So I think this is it. We don't have a lot of changes. There are few changes related to Angular material, but I think mostly it's mostly migration
Cosmetic.
deprecations. Yeah. So I think it's enough for
They
today. I
just
think Anit. So
uh,
I think we are already 50 minutes mark, but I
mhm.
wanted to do it like 45 minutes, but we went 5 or 10 minutes over above time. But yeah, good thing is we were able to see an Angular 20 app. We were able to migrate an Angular 19 app to Angular 20 app. See like what are the different migrations. We talked about all the new features, and we talked about some of the deprecations as well, and style guide.
Right.
So anything I'm missing?
I don't think so. I think we have covered everything except the new Angular AI page that they have created. I think we can just quickly go through
Mhm.
it in 5 minutes,
Okay,
if
let's do
if that
that.
works for you, Santosh.
Yeah, sure. Um, so you mean the new llm.txt file which is not being generated?
No, 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 no. You just have to go to angular.dev/AI. That's it.
Okay, so let's see. Oh,
The AI is small. It's just
and
small letters. Yeah.
oh, why it's still capitals? Because built with AI.
Build with AI.
This is strange. Okay. Oh, so there's a new page on how you can use generative AI and large language models. Okay, this is the one I think even Ketan was talking about, right? So getting
Right.
started, how you can. Oh, so they have GenKit, Firebase AI, Gemini API. Oh, so this is like some examples, Sangeet?
Yeah, so basically, I think a few weeks back, Devin and I'm forgetting the name of the other guy. I think Mark. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I
Mark
may be,
Texan.
yeah, I might be taking the names wrong, but yeah, these two guys, they were basically on the live stream on Angular channel, and they were building something crazy with Angular and GenKit AI that they have mentioned on in the docs as well. So
Uh-huh.
last thing I remember was they were adding things to cart using Gen AI. Like they were just typing, I want to make a milkshake, and all the necessary items were getting added to the cart. That was the thing that they were developing, and I think that's pretty crazy. And I
Yeah,
think they
I
have
think
that
there's
in
a,
example. Yeah, right.
yeah.
This is the one.
Oh, nice. Cool. So yeah, if you want to build a next Gen AI app, just go to the examples and it's already there, and you can
True.
get all the. And the good thing is they are using the latest APIs. Like for example, they are using Resource API
Yeah.
for streaming. So go ahead and try this out. Cool. Thanks. Anything
Great.
else, Anita, or we can just wrap it up?
I think, yeah, I think we're good. We have covered most of the parts, and yeah, I think if anybody has any kind of questions or queries, they can leave it in the comments, and we can maybe give them a reply later on.
So if you have any questions, of course, reach out to Anita on LinkedIn or X, and then you can also message me. But I'm on a long vacation because we had actually today was holiday in Germany. So we had Father's Day, and then I just decided to take Friday off because I was already like, oh, I worked, this week was like I've worked a lot. So I thought, like, why not to take a break? And then I have my marriage anniversary. So I have my 16th marriage anniversary on Saturday. And
Wow.
then I thought, I think I need a day to process this. 16 years, man, 16 years. This
Damn.
is just scary.
I can't even think. I mean, I can't even you know feel that, because come on, like I know, like I've seen my parents grow. So yeah, I mean, 16 years.
So I'll be busy doing that. And then on Monday, I'm traveling to Frankfurt to meet one of my friends who's coming from India to visit Germany.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's going to be like next few again busy days because traveling to Frankfurt and then I have to come back next day. But yeah, I'll be back on Steam as well next week. Maybe I'll try to
Great.
see like if I can upgrade my another Angular 17 app to Angular 19 or Angular 20. And yeah,
That would be
so
great to watch, Santosh. I think,
yeah.
yeah,
So thanks, Anit. Thanks for your time and thanks for the idea again. And I am looking forward to like have more live streams with you, and we can probably do
sure,
something together as well. And
definitely.
before we wrap up, I think Anit is something doing something around Angular. Would you
Oh
like to
yeah,
mention
yeah.
that?
Thank you so much for bringing that. I
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
forgot that, and I have two of my friends staring at me right now.
Oh,
So thank you so much for reminding that.
uh,
So yeah, I mean, it's not just the Angular community that's coming up with something new. Like we are also a part of Angular community, and we are also coming up with something new. So currently, I'm here in Mumbai, Thane, and me and some of my friends and colleagues, we have thought of coming up with the new Angular community specifically for Mumbai. And well, guess any guesses for the names? Well, it's NG Mumbai, and you can also go to the website. I mean, it's still under development. It's open source. You can, you can raise PRs. It's NG with a dash, ng-mumbai.dev. uh,
okay.
yeah, I was actually building it on Angular 19 the other day, and I've used Angular SSR in it, and we are still, in
Nice.
process of optimizing it more. The images will load slowly. Please
Oh.
don't come.
So I think you can reach out to Jerome as well. So Jerome has a
Sure,
website where he lists all the communities. I think this will be a great addition. You can raise a PR on the repository.
that would be great.
I'll try to share that. And Saurav, they were they they what is their
Dekapurvar,
Deka
yeah, he's
Dekapur.
my colleague.
Yeah,
Thank you, bro. Thank you
yeah,
so much for the support. Yeah,
yeah. Cool. So, congratulations on starting this, Anit. I mean, and if you are not aware, Mumbai is where I was born. I was
I know
in
that, sir.
Mumbai for almost 26 or close to 30 years. So, of course, that city gave me a lot. All everything which I've learned about life, probably my struggles, everything comes from Mumbai. I think that's the city which never sleeps, and there are some countless number
True.
of people like me who are just trying to
It's.
make it. And yeah, but good to see something around Angular which is happening in Mumbai. So
I mean, yeah, we're still
congratulations.
growing. We're still coming
Yeah,
up with new ideas, and I also like to mention you and Shashi, who has been helping us build this community, and you guys have been the uplifters. And thank you so much for your support.
we are. I mean, the good thing about Angular community is like everyone is ready to have help or chip in
True.
the way they can. So
True.
yeah, looking forward to what you do with NG Mumbai next, and yeah, all the best.
Thank you so much.
Cool. So bye everyone. Enjoy weekend. Enjoy your weekend, and I hope you have a great night, good morning, or evening, wherever you are. So, and thanks again for joining.